Hello there everybody, Raphael Perry here with hopefully a painting video today. I have no idea how this is going to go, so this is going to be purely experimental. Right, so the software I now use to compress my videos to a smaller size so I can upload them to YouTube also allows me to combine snippets together to form longer videos, which I would love to do. Also, because my camera can only handle about 10 minutes at a time, I'm planning on doing this with a lot of jump cuts, just cutting up all the painting work, because obviously leaning down and painting something far away from your face is different to, painting it up close, right? So I have a number of state-of-the-art pieces of equipment here today. We have a palette, some amazing toilet paper. No, it's normal toilet paper, it's totally fine. Just old jam jar with some knackered old paintbrushes standing up in it. Do not do this with paintbrushes that you like. Don't do this with paintbrushes that you value. Only do this with paintbrushes that are so old and knackered that they're only really good for mixing up paints or dry brushing or something, and you don't want to treat them very well and they're just not worth looking after. Yeah, in that case you can afford to stand them up in the water a bit. Then over here we have some serious paintbrushes for the actual paintwork, some super glue I haven't tidied away, the miniature I'm planning on working on, and a number of paints. Today just 5 paints. Got an old pot of bleached bone. That's probably not very, white on white, really tricky to read, I know. A pot of the new Mornfang brown. That's basically the old bestial brown, if you've got a pot of that. And then the Reaper golden skin triad, because I fancy painting that skin tone at the moment, and I haven't done it in a long time. And it seems reasonably appropriate for the miniature as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out periodically, do a bit of painting and show you. And I thought I could do this 2 ways, right? I could take a photo, take a series of photos and just leaf through them. But the light may be inconsistent, whereas if I'm holding something up by the camera, hopefully it'll in the same position, the same place, hopefully it'll be a bit more reliable. Alright, see you in a bit. But before I do, so I've started with a black undercoat. I need to get that in focus. So I'm just going to do eyes next. That'll be 2 or 3 steps back in a little bit. Alright, so at this point I've just taken a bit of bleached bone and slapped it on over the eyes with callous disregard to the shape of the actual eyes, because that doesn't matter quite so much at this point actually. Right. That was nice and simple. Oh, I'm also using a pot of black as well. It's the new Abaddon black. It's not Abaddon, it's Abaddon. It's biblical, look it up. And yeah, black in a moment. Alright, so at this point what I've done, and it may not be very visible, is I've taken the black paint and drawn a vertical stripe, very thin vertical stripe down the not quite centre but off centre of each eyeball, and I've done my best to make sure they match on both eyes. The next part was optional, which was painting the black back up to the edge of the eye. Now it doesn't matter too much because we're going to paint skin over it in a moment, and I'll be doing that now actually. I hope that's in focus. Alright, so at this point obviously a big change. Basically I've taken the old bestial brown, that's now Mornfang brown, and slapped it all over the skin, including her ear. Got it on fairly quick everywhere that there's skin. Got a bit on the hair, that's totally fine. This is laying a base coat, base colour that will shine through with its warmth, because it's quite a nice warm brown, and it will add in to our next few layers. Again, I hope that's in focus because I'm just estimating this, but we'll see. It's probably going to be bloody terrible to watch. Hope it's okay. For the next stage, I've mixed up a 50-50 mix of the Mornfang brown and the golden skin shadow and applied it liberally to the face. I've left the original coat showing through on a thin line between the lips thin lines just beneath the eyebrows and the hole in her ear. Now, the easy way to do that is just paint the forehead, paint up to the edge of the eyebrows, stop, paint the eyelids separately, leaving a slight gap between. Now, just so you can see my palette here, and there we go, nice little mix, and the bog roll is now looking significantly more used. Right, back in a little bit. Now for my next coat, I've just applied the golden skin shadow on its own. I've left a little more of the tip of her forehead visible up there against her hair. I've been very gentle on the lower lip because that's probably the last paint I'm going to place on it. And I've been careful on the ear, but it's been tricky because it's so fiddly with that shoulder plate in the way. And now I need to go and mix my next coat before the paint dries, so back in a moment. Right, so the next coat was a 50-50 mix of the golden skin shadow and the golden skin mid-tone. And I have not applied it to the lower lip or the eyelids. I've been very generous, well, very cautious on the ear. I have applied it to the chin beneath the lower lip. I'm not sure if she's in focus or not at this point, but hopefully she is. And next is going to be a 50... No, it's next going to be the mid-tone on its own, obviously. Right, back in a little bit with that. I did not leave any more of the forehead exposed this time. I'll be doing that with the next coat because it's a gradual transition so as not to overdo it. Right, back in a bit. So for this coat, the golden mid-tone on its own, I've been sparing on the lower portions of the cheeks, haven't touched the lower lip, did a tiny little bit around the eye there, the very outer rim of the ear. I did go across the forehead, but I left a slight bit of the previous coat showing through on the bridge of her nose while she might wear a pair of glasses, because there'll be a bit of shadow there. I was tempted to go over and retouch the eyelids ever so slightly, but I thought, no, she can have a bit of makeup, it's fine. Right, back in a little bit for the last few coats. Right, so for this penultimate coat, which looks horrifically out of focus, one moment. Yeah, it's a 50-50 mix of the mid-tone and the high tone. It has only been applied to the bridge of the nose, the lower part of her forehead, her cheekbones, and a tiny little bit of the rim of the outer ear. Now I'm going to go before I run out of time because I'm cutting it fine on my camera's memory card. So then for the final highlight, just the golden skin highlight on its own, on the tip of her nose, her nostrils, just across the brow, ever so gently, and a little bit on each cheek. Didn't touch the ear at all. Now I'm going to go upstairs and hopefully get some better light just to finish off the video with a nice little close-up. So there we go, some slightly better light. Hopefully you can see the whole face and the ear on the side there. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with how she's turned out. Right, hope you all enjoyed this video and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.